Hi students, welcome to this session on Introduction to Faraday's Law. In this class, I will introduce Faraday's Law, and in the coming videos we will see the detailed analysis of Faraday's Law. This is very important law. Why it is very important law is, right? So already the laws we studied, right? One is Coulomb's law in electrostatics and Gauss law. These two laws governs electrostatics, and we studied Ampere circuital law ACL, right? And Biot-Savart law. Fine. These two laws govern magnetostatics, right? So you see, these two laws doesn't bother about time, right? We didn't use the word or parameter time in the last 3 units, right? So they are not bothering about time, and moreover, these two laws govern only magnetostatics. These two laws govern only electrostatics. They are not at all relating both, right? So the people thought that they were independent. Faraday is the first person to bring the term time. That is the first significance. Second significance is he only observed that the changing magnetic field B will induce change in electric field E, right? So he only proved this, and he only gave the relationship between change in magnetic field to the change in electric field. These laws talk about electric field and magnetic field in an exclusive manner. He only first brought the relation, right? The relationship between the magnetic field and electric field. That's why Faraday's law and his contribution to the uh, electromagnetics is very important one. Let us see some basic idea about Faraday's law in this class, right? So as per Faraday's law, what he is telling, whenever flux linking with the coil changes, right? Flux pi pm, that is whenever the magnetic flux linking with the coil changes, that is flux changing with respect to time, it will induce EMF. That's what Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction talks, right? Flux linking with the coil changes will induce EMF. Okay, so we know any equation, right hand side is cause, left hand side is effect. So change in flux will induce EMF, right? So this is what Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, and we know that magnetic flux is given by B dot ds. We studied already. Okay, so what happens? We can write this is for flux linking with the one coil. Suppose we have a coil with n turns, then what happens is VEMF will become. It is the each turn in the coil will contribute, or each turn in the coil has the same amount of flux. So we have to multiply with the n. So if we have n turns, the equation becomes n d phi m by dt, right? It is a ultimate form. Clear? So total EMF, it is EMF in singleton, right? EMF in singleton of coil, it is n turn of coil. Clear? Now we talk about this negative symbol. What is this negative symbol, right? That's what we are going to bother. This negative symbol is bothering, it's talking about opposition. Its meaning is opposition. It indicates opposition. What it is opposing? Let us see that, right? So what is changing here? As per the Faraday's law, when flux changes, what will happen? EMF will be induced. You see, when pi m changes, EMF will be induced. This is the relation. When EMF is induced, what will happen? Current will also be induced. See, EMF is nothing but nothing but our former name of voltage, right? Now we call by using voltage. Earlier it is called as EMF. That's it, right? So when magnetic flux changes, d phi m by dt will lead to change in EMF. change in EMF, induced EMF. Induced EMF will produce induced current, right? When current changes, if it is changes, this one will change, this one will change. When current changes, magnetic field will also change. Why? Because H dot dl is equal to I. The change in current will induce magnetic field. When current magnetic field can be related to B is equal to mu H, right? So it will also vary. Then from that we see the new flux will be induced. It is, we call that is a new flux, right? This new flux only opposes the original change. Clear? So that's what this minus indicates. The net flux generated based on this current, right? This EMF induces this current. When current flows through a conductor, magnetic field will be induced. The magnetic field create a magnetic flux. That flux will oppose the original flux, right? So this change, that is the in net flux. This is the net flux. The net flux or new flux, I can call it a net flux. The net flux opposes the change in the original flux. That is very, very, very important. That means what? Right? So what is that? The flux tends to maintain the existing flux. It opposes the change. If it opposes the change means it wants to maintain this status quo. It wants to maintain the originality. That's what this minus. This minus is very, very, very important term in the Faraday's law. So this minus is fully talked by the great scientist Lenz. What he states that the current from the induced EMF, will produce a magnetic field which will oppose the original change in flux. How it will oppose the original change in flux? Through the net flux. That's what Lenz law. Since we studied this basic laws already, just we stop within this. Okay, so we go to our area now. We know that V EMF is equal to minus d phi m by dt, right? So we studied in electrostatics, V is equal to closed integral of E dot dl. Clear? V is equal to E dot dl. That is given by minus d by dt B dot ds, because pi is equal to B dot ds for magnetic field. That we know, right? So now we see that again, this is a closed integral E dot dl. If I use Stokes theorem, I can write in terms of surface integral. That will be equal to del cross E ds. I applied Stokes theorem. If you have any doubt, please refer my video on Stokes theorem in chapter number 1. So E dot dl will become del cross E ds. That is equal to minus d by dt B dot ds. Okay. So right. So here what is the B dot ds? Phi m is equal to B dot ds. So this is very important relation. Now we see that I have to change flux to induce EMF, right? That means I want time varying flux. This is called time varying flux. Why it is called time varying flux? Because the flux is changing with respect to time. That's what we call this is the flux pi changing with respect to time. That's why we call this is the time varying flux. We want time varying flux to generate induced EMF, right? So this time varying flux can be caused in 3 ways. D phi m by dt can be caused in 3 ways. First way is keep your circuit stationary and change magnetic field. In this way, we can generate d phi m by dt. Second way is keep B static, magnetic field static, move circuit. This is second way. Third way is move circuit and change B. Do the same both, right? So in these three methods, we can generate time varying flux. If time varying flux is generated through this method and from this EMF is induced, then we can call the induced EMF as transformer EMF. So transformer EMF is a EMF which is generated by a time varying flux. That flux is created by changing the magnetic field while keeping the circuit stationary. Right? If EMF is induced by time varying flux, if that flux is generated by moving the circuit and keeping stationary, then that is called motional EMF. Right? So this is very important definition. What is transformer EMF and what is motional EMF? Right? So I stop this class within this definition, with this definition. So we will continue Faraday's law and its important aspect in the next video. Thank you.